Welcome to order of operations. Now, a lot of you have probably heard something to do with the order of operations, and there's a mnemonic that most people use to remember what the order of operations are, and it's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So please is P, excuse is E, my dear is M and D, and Aunt Sally is A and S, and it tells us the order in which we're supposed to do things. So P, we always do P first, and P is parentheses. And really all grouping symbols. So in addition to parentheses, we'll have square end brackets, we'll have maybe some of these kind of brackets, we'll have division bars, we do what's on top and on the bottom first, and that's what this number one down here is saying. Do everything inside grouping symbols first. And we always work from the inside out on those. Second thing is exponents. So you always want to evaluate all your exponents second. Third thing that and you'll notice it says it right here. Third thing we want to do is we want to do all multiplication and division. And we do this from left to right. So it's not that multiplication is more important than division or anything like that. It's when we have multiplication and division in a problem, left to right. And then finally, we finish our order of operations by addition and subtraction. And once again, that's from left to right. Now, the order of operations are going to dictate how we simplify expressions, how we evaluate expressions, and kind of how we will start solving equations. So it's really kind of important to do this here. So let's look at this example. And this example is missing a 3, that's a 3 now, squared on the outside. So first thing we notice in this example is there's some parentheses. So we want to work inside the parentheses. Inside the parentheses we have addition and division. Because division comes before addition, we want to divide 12 by 4 first, and that's why we get this 3 that's right here. Now, we also have this 3 squared on the outside at this level as well, and I'll write that in. So next thing we want to do is we can evaluate this exponent. Now, this negative 3 squared really means 3 times 3, which is 9, so that's where this 9 comes from right there. So we evaluate our exponents. Next thing we do is work inside the parentheses, and we could have done this simultaneously, we just decided not to. So working in the parentheses, adding 6 and 3, that gives us our 9. Okay. Now, we have this 9 minus 3 times 9 minus 9. Because we have subtraction and multiplication, multiplication comes first, so we're going to do this multiplication. Negative 3 times 9 is negative 27, that's where we get this. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and subtract, since that's all that's left, and we go from left to right. So first, 9 minus 27 is negative 18. That's what we see right here. And then negative 18 minus 9 is negative 27. So that's an example of using the order of operations. So once again with this, it's probably best if you do the practice problems first, and then kind of watch the videos to see if you're getting it right. But I'm just going to continue on. Now notice, here, there's a couple different grouping symbols. We have parentheses here, and we have the square and brackets that are outside. So we want to work from the inside out. So the first thing we want to do is work inside these parentheses. 7 minus 5 is 2. So we can rewrite this as 6, 3 minus 2 times 2. And that's what we have. Now to get rid of this parenthesis here that's around the 2, we're going to use multiplication. And because we're working inside this grouping symbol, we do that. So here, everything carries through. We still have our 6. We haven't messed with this 3 yet, so we copy that down. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, so we have minus 4. So we're just simplifying this as we go. Still want to work inside the grouping symbol, and so we have 3 minus 4, that's negative 1, so we have 6 times negative 1. Well, 6 times negative 1, multiplication is the last thing to do. That's going to be negative 6, and this is the answer to that first practice problem. Now, if we look at the second practice problem, we have 4 minus 3 times 5 minus 7. So we have subtraction and multiplication. Well, multiplication comes before subtraction in the order of operations, so that's what we're going to do first. We carry this 4 over. Now, the multiplication is negative 3 times 5, that's going to be negative 15. And then we have our negative 7. So after we've done our multiplication, the only thing that we're left with is some subtraction. So here, 4 minus 15, and we're working from left to right once again, 4 minus 15, that's negative 11. And then we have our minus 7. And then finally, negative 11 minus 7, negative 18. That is the simplified version of that expression right here. Okay, this next one is missing the 3 squared, so I wrote it in the little caret. It's on your packet, but not on this one. So we have addition, we have exponentiation, and we have parentheses. So first we're going to work inside the parentheses. So I'm going to write everything else down. 6 plus 3 squared. 9 minus 11 is negative 2. So we have that right there. Next thing we need to do is do our exponents. 3 squared is 3 times 3. So we still have our 6 plus 9 times negative 2. I'm going to draw a line right here because we're going to probably need to dip down a little bit. Then, addition and multiplication. Multiplication is going to come first. So we have our 6. 9 times negative 2 is negative 18. And then finally we are left with our subtraction. 6 minus 18 is negative 12. And that's what we're looking for here. Okay. So on this next one, we have a couple things going on. We have multiplication here. We have exponentiation here. Because they're separated by the subtraction signs, we can work with each of those individually because we know we're going to do the subtraction last. So what I'm going to do is rewrite this, carry the 35 over. Negative 2 times negative 9 is a positive 18. So here, our negative 2 times negative 9 is positive 18, so it's plus 18. And then finally we have a negative 4 squared. 4 squared, 4 times 4 is 16, so we have minus 16. Now the only thing that we're left with is addition and subtraction. So we're going to work from left to right. 35 plus 18 is going to be 53. So we have 53 minus 16. And then we're going to do our subtraction last. And 53 minus 16 is going to give us 37. So 37, that is the answer we're looking for. So 2 more of these and then we'll be good. This next one, we have a negative 7 squared, and we have minus 3 times 4. So we have exponentiation here, we have multiplication here. I'm going to do those first, and then we're going to subtract. So because this negative that's in front of the 7 is not in parentheses, we're only squaring the 7. So this is 7 squared is 49, so that's negative 49. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. And then negative 49 minus 12, excuse me, is going to be negative 61. Is our negative 61. Okay, now for the last one here. Now, this division bar at the bottom is a grouping symbol. So, we want to look at this really quickly. Now, we want to do everything on the top and everything on the bottom, and then we want to divide at the very end. So, because we have parentheses on the top, we're going to have our 4 minus. Do our addition inside the parentheses. That's going to be a 12. Okay. Same thing in the denominator. Because we have parentheses, we want to do that first. So 6 minus 4 is 2, so you have 6 minus 2 times 2. Okay. Top, we do our subtraction. 4 minus 12 is negative 8. And then in the denominator, we do our multiplication. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. So we have 6 minus 4. And I'm running out of space here. So I'm going to pop back up. And, yeah, I'll just do it down here, I guess. So finally, we'll carry it down here. Our negative 8 over 6 minus 4 is 2. So after we've simplified the numerator of this and the denominator, we finally do our division. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. And that's the answer to that one. So that's kind of the order of operations. We're going to be using this quite frequently in this class, so make sure that you're familiar with these rules.